My sister declared me dead and tried to steal $500,000 from my life insurance. She forged a death certificate. She created a fake car accident. She told my entire family I was gone. But she made one fatal mistake. I was still alive. And when I found out what she did, I didn't just stop her. I destroyed her entire life. This is the story of how I got the ultimate revenge on my own sister. And trust me, by the end of this, you'll be shocked at how far she was willing to go. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 29 years old. I live in Seattle where I work as a graphic designer for a tech startup. My life was completely normal. I had a decent apartment. I had a good job. I had a small circle of friends. Nothing special. Nothing dramatic. Just your average 20-something trying to build a career. That was 3 weeks ago. Before everything exploded. Before I discovered what my own sister had done. It started on a Tuesday afternoon. October 22nd. I was working from home. I was finishing up some website mock-ups for a client. My coffee was getting cold. My cat was asleep on the couch. Just another boring workday. Then my phone rang. The caller ID said Marcus Chin. He's my insurance agent. I almost didn't answer. But something made me pick up. That decision changed everything. Sarah, we have an emergency. Marcus's voice was shaking. In 3 years of knowing him, I'd never heard him sound like that. My stomach dropped. What's wrong, Marcus? Your sister Amanda just filed a death claim on your life insurance policy. She submitted a death certificate 3 days ago. She's claiming you died in a car accident. She's trying to collect $500,000. The room started spinning. I had to sit down. I'm sorry, what? Your sister told our company you're dead. She provided documentation. She filed for the payout. Sarah, she's committing fraud and you're the victim. My older sister. The person I grew up with. The person who taught me how to ride a bike. The person who held my hand at our father's funeral 2 years ago. That Amanda had just declared me dead. Had forged legal documents. Had tried to erase my entire existence for money. Marcus, I'm sitting in my apartment right now. I'm alive. I know. That's why I'm calling you. Sarah, your sister has committed federal crimes. Insurance fraud. Forgery. Identity theft. She's looking at 20 years in prison. 20 years. My sister could go to jail for 2 decades. How is this even possible? It's the life insurance policy your father set up for you when you were 17. After his death, it became active. $500,000 payable to your beneficiary upon your death. Except you're not dead. And your sister is trying to pretend you are. That, if he could see this now, it would destroy him. He'd set up those policies to protect us. To make sure his daughters would be okay. And now Amanda was using his gift to commit fraud. I need to see the documents. I need to understand what she did. Come to my office. Right now. We need to document everything before we contact the police. I grabbed my keys. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely hold them. The drive downtown was a blur. I kept thinking, why would Amanda do this? We weren't close, but we weren't enemies. Sure, she'd always struggled. Dropped out of college twice. Couldn't keep a job. Went through money like water. But faking my death? That was insane. Marcus was waiting in a conference room. Documents were spread across the table. Sarah, I need you to prepare yourself. What you're about to see is disturbing. He handed me a document. A death certificate. From Multnomah County, Oregon. It had my full name. Sarah Catherine Mitchell. Date of birth, correct. Social security number, correct. Date of death, October 15th. Cause of death, blunt force trauma from motor vehicle accident. I stared at it. This piece of paper said I was dead. It looked official. The seal looked real. The signature looked legitimate. But it was completely fake. This is a professional forgery, Marcus said. The quality is excellent. Most people would never question it. But we have protocols for large claims. I called Multnomah County to verify. They have no record of this death certificate. The serial number doesn't exist in their system. So what happens now? Now we call the police. We report the fraud. Your sister gets arrested. She goes to prison. Marcus paused. But Sarah, I need to ask. Does Amanda know that we've caught on? What do you mean? As far as she knows, is her claim still being processed? Or does she suspect we've discovered the fraud? I don't know. I haven't talked to her in months. Good. Because that means she thinks she's getting away with it. Marcus looked at me carefully. Sarah, I have an unusual idea. What if we don't call the police immediately? What if we let Amanda think her plan worked? Something clicked in my brain. A dark thought. A vengeful thought. You want to trap her. I want to give you the chance to confront her face to face. We tell her the claim is approved. We set up a meeting. She comes in expecting to collect the money. And then you walk in. Alive. She realizes she's been caught. And then we call the police. I should have said no. I should have just let the police handle it. But I didn't. Because I wanted more than justice. I wanted revenge. Real revenge. I wanted Amanda to see my face. I wanted her to understand exactly what she'd done. I wanted to watch her world collapse in real time. Let's do it. Set the trap. Marcus nodded. I'll contact her tomorrow. I'll say the claim is approved. She needs to come in Friday to finalize paperwork. That gives us 3 days to prepare. Security, police on standby, everything. 3 days. That's perfect. After I left his office, I sat in my car for a long time. I should have felt scared. I should have felt sad. Instead, I felt cold fury. Amanda had crossed a line that could never be uncrossed. She hadn't just tried to steal money. She tried to erase me. And now, I was going to make sure she paid for it in the most devastating way possible. But first, I needed to understand why. I needed to know what had driven her to this point. So I started digging into her life. I pulled out my laptop and started searching. Social media first. Her Facebook was public. I scrolled through her posts from the last year. At first, everything seemed normal. Pictures of her apartment. Photos with friends. Complaints about work. Then about 6 months ago the posts changed. They became darker. More desperate. Drowning in bills. Can't catch a break. Life keeps kicking me when I'm down. 3 months ago she posted something that made my blood run cold. Sometimes you have to do things you never thought you'd do just to survive. Had she been planning this for 3 months? I kept digging. Public records. Court documents. What I found was worse than I imagined. Amanda had been evicted from her apartment 4 months ago. Her car had been repossessed 3 months ago. She'd been fired from her job at a dental office 2 months ago for stealing from the cash register. My sister was in complete free fall. Broke. Desperate. Jobless. But then I found something else. A civil lawsuit filed 6 weeks ago. A man named Viktor Kozlov was suing Amanda for $80,000. The lawsuit described it as a personal loan. But the amount, the interest rate mentioned, the threatening language, it all screamed one thing. Loan shark. Amanda owed a loan shark $80,000. He was being sued. She had no money, no job, no way out. And she'd decided that faking my death was her solution. But $80,000 was way less than $500,000. She wasn't just trying to pay off her debt. She was trying to escape her entire life. Now here's where things get interesting. Because instead of just feeling angry, I realized something. Amanda wasn't just desperate. She was terrified. Viktor Kozlov wasn't going to wait for a court judgment. Loan sharks don't work that way. She probably had people threatening her. Maybe even threatening to hurt her. And in her panic, she decided to commit the ultimate betrayal. Does that excuse what she did? Absolutely not. But it explained it. And it gave me leverage. The next morning Marcus called me. I contacted Amanda. Told her the claim was approved. She almost cried with relief. She asked me 3 times if I was sure. She's desperate for this money. Did she ask any questions? Anything suspicious? No. She was too excited. Too relieved. She has no idea we know. Good. What time on Friday? 10 a.m. She'll be here. And the police? Detective Linda Morrison will be parked outside with 2 officers. The moment I text her, they'll come in and make the arrest. 2 more days. 2 more days until I confronted my sister. 2 more days until I got my revenge. I tried to go back to work, but I couldn't focus. My mind kept playing the scene over and over. Amanda walking in, expecting money, then seeing me, alive. The fear. The realization that her life was over. On Thursday evening my phone rang. I hadn't talked to her since this started. She had no idea what Amanda had done. No idea what was about to happen. Hi sweetie, I was just thinking about you. How's Seattle? It's good mom. How are you? Oh, the bookstore is slow but we're managing. Hey, have you talked to Amanda recently? My heart started pounding. No, why? She called me a few weeks ago asking for money. I didn't have any to give her. He sounded really stressed. Almost scared. I've been worried about her. Mom sighed. I wish she could get her life together like you did. You've always been so responsible. There was the comparison. The thing Amanda had resented her entire life. Mom praising me while worrying about Amanda. No wonder my sister felt like she was always in my shadow. I'm sure she'll figure things out, Mom. I hope so. He's my daughter. I just want her to be happy. Mom paused. Anyway, I just wanted to hear your voice. I love you, sweetie. I love you too, Mom. After I hung up, I felt a wave of sadness. Because tomorrow Mom's world was going to shatter. When she found out what Amanda had done, it would break her heart. She'd already lost Dad. Now she was going to lose Amanda too, just in a different way. But there was no other option. Amanda had made her choice. Now she had to face the consequences. Friday morning arrived. I woke up at 6 a.m. even though I didn't need to be at Marcus's office until 9:30. I couldn't sleep anymore. I got up. I showered. I got dressed carefully. Black pants. Black blazer. White blouse. I looked at myself in the mirror. I looked calm. Composed. Put together. Not like someone whose sister had tried to declare them dead. I drove to Marcus's office. I was there by 9:15. Marcus met me in the lobby. You ready? I've been ready since the moment you told me what she did. He led me upstairs to the conference room. There was a smaller office connected by a door. You'll wait in there. The door isn't soundproof. You'll hear everything. When you're ready, you walk in. And Detective Morrison? Parked outside. Eyes on the entrance. She'll see Amanda arrive. One text from me and she's inside in 30 seconds. I nodded. Let's do this. I went into the small office and waited. There was a window overlooking the city. I stared out at Seattle. At the life I'd built here. The life Amanda had tried to erase. At 9:55, I heard voices in the hallway. Marcus greeting someone. Then a woman's voice. Bright. Happy. Excited. Amanda's voice. Good morning, Marcus. Thank you so much for handling this quickly. I know large claims take time. My hands clenched into fists. He sounded thrilled. Like she was about to receive a gift instead of stolen money from her sister's fake death. Of course, Ms. Richardson. Please come in. I heard footsteps. A chair scraping. Amanda sitting down. Getting comfortable. Preparing to collect her blood money. Can I get you anything? Water? Coffee? No, I'm fine. I'm just ready to finalize everything and move forward. This has been such a difficult time. Difficult time. She was acting like she was actually grieving. Like I was actually dead. I can imagine, Marcus said. Losing a sibling is devastating. It really is. Sarah and I were close. Very close. Losing her has been the hardest thing I've ever experienced. Lies. Complete lies. We weren't close. We barely talked. She didn't miss me. She'd erased me without a second thought. Before we finalize, I need to ask a few questions. Standard procedure. Of course. Can you tell me about the accident? How you found out? Amanda didn't hesitate. She'd rehearsed this. The police called me around midnight on October 15th. I was asleep. The phone woke me up. The officer said Sarah had been in a car accident on Highway 26 outside Portland. Single vehicle. She'd been driving in the rain. Went off the road. Down a ravine. By the time they found her, she was gone. The detail was chilling. She'd created an entire story. Weather. Timing. She'd thought of everything. That must have been devastating. It was the worst night of my life. I called my mom immediately. We just broke down crying. First my dad 2 years ago. Now Sarah. It felt like a curse. She was using our father's death. Using Mom's grief. To sell her lie. And the funeral? We did a private cremation. Sarah was always very private. She wouldn't have wanted a big service. Just family. More lies. There was no body. No cremation. Just a fake certificate and a sister willing to deceive everyone. What do you plan to do with the insurance money? There was a brief pause. I want to help my mother. Her bookstore is struggling. And I want to pay off some of Sarah's debts. Her student loans. Make sure her affairs are settled. That's what she would have wanted. I almost burst through the door right then. She was planning to keep every cent. And she was lying about it so smoothly. So confidently. That's very thoughtful. Your sister was lucky to have you. Family takes care of family. That's what we do. Indeed. Well, I think we've covered everything. There's just one more thing. What's that? We need to verify that Sarah is actually dead. Silence. Heavy silence. I don't understand. You have the death certificate. Yes. But sometimes we require additional verification. Especially for suspected fraud. Fraud? What are you talking about? Amanda's voice rose. I'm not committing fraud. My sister died. I have the certificate. That's interesting. Because we have proof that says otherwise. What proof? We have Sarah. Alive and well. That was my cue. I stood up. My heart was pounding so hard I thought it might explode. This was it. The moment I'd been waiting for. I put my hand on the door handle. Took a deep breath. And opened the door. Amanda was sitting at the conference table facing away from me. She was wearing a nice dress. Heels. Her hair was styled. She looked like someone about to receive good news. Like someone whose plan was working perfectly. I stepped into the room. My footsteps echoed. Amanda started to turn around. And then she saw me. Her face went through a transformation I'll never forget. First confusion. Her brain trying to process what her eyes were seeing. Then absolute shock as reality crashed into her. Then pure horror as she understood what this meant. All the color drained from her face. Her mouth fell open. Her eyes went wide. She actually stumbled backwards. Her chair tipped over. She grabbed the table to keep from falling. Hi, Amanda. My voice was ice cold. Surprise. I'm not dead. She couldn't speak. He just stared at me. Her whole body started shaking. Sarah. It came out as barely a whisper. How? What? I thought. Thought I was dead? I walked closer. Yeah, that's what you told everyone. That I died in a car crash. That you identified my body. That you had me cremated. Interesting story. Except none of it's true. She looked between me and Marcus like a trapped animal. This is a mistake. I can explain. Explain what? The forged death certificate? The fake police report? The detailed story about an accident that never happened? Please, Amanda. I'd love to hear you explain how you tried to steal $500,000 by faking my death. I needed the money. Her voice cracked. I'm desperate. I owe people. Dangerous people. Viktor Kozlov. Her face went even whiter. How do you know about him? I know everything, Amanda. I know you owe a loan shark $80,000. I know you got evicted. I know your car got repossessed. I know you got fired for stealing. I know your entire life has fallen apart. I leaned on the table. But you know what? That still doesn't justify what you did. You could have asked for help. You could have come to me. You could have declared bankruptcy. You had options. Instead, you decided to erase me. I was going to pay you back. Eventually. After things calmed down. That's not how life insurance works, and you know it. The only way you get that money is if I'm actually dead. You weren't planning to share anything. You were going to take it all and disappear. Her mask cracked completely. Tears started streaming. Please, Sarah. Please don't do this. I'm your sister. We can work this out. I'll do anything. Just don't call the police. I already called them. No. She shook her head frantically. No, please. I'll go to prison for 20 years. My life will be over. Is that what you want? To destroy your own sister? You tried to destroy me first. You didn't just steal money, Amanda. You tried to erase my entire existence. You were going to let Mom think she'd lost another child. You were going to let her grieve for me while you lived off my fake death. That's not desperation. That's evil. I made a mistake. A terrible mistake. But we're family. Family forgives. You're right. You did make a terrible mistake. I pulled out my phone. But your mistake wasn't the fraud. Your mistake was thinking I wouldn't find out. Your mistake was underestimating me. And now that mistake is going to cost you everything. I sent the text. 2 words. Come now. Within seconds, heavy footsteps echoed in the hallway. The door opened. Detective Linda Morrison walked in with 2 uniformed officers. Amanda saw them and started backing away, shaking her head. No. No, this can't be happening. Amanda Richardson, the detective said. Please. Please don't. You're under arrest for insurance fraud, forgery, and identity theft. The detective pulled out handcuffs. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. Amanda was sobbing now. Ugly, desperate sobs. Sarah, please. I'm your sister. You can't do this to me. I watched them put the handcuffs on her wrists. Watched them read her rights. Watched as my sister realized her life was over. You should have thought about that before you declared me dead. You're destroying our family. Mom will never forgive you for this. I'm not destroying our family, Amanda. You already did that when you forged that death certificate. I'm just making sure you face the consequences. They led her toward the door. He was still crying. Still begging. I hope you're happy. I hope this was worth it. It was. Every single second of it. Her voice echoed down the hallway until it finally faded to nothing. The conference room went silent. Marcus came over. You okay? Yeah. I'm more than okay. What you just did took guts. It wasn't guts. It was necessity. She needed to see my face. She needed to know that I'm the one who ended her. What happens now? Now I call Mom. And I tell her everything. That phone call was brutal. Mom's sobs tore through me. No. Not Amanda. There must be a mistake. There's no mistake, Mom. I saw the documents. I heard her lie. I watched the police arrest her. It's real. Both my girls. I've lost both my girls. You haven't lost me. I'm right here. But Amanda made her choice. She tried to fake my death for money. She has to face what she's done. How did I not see this? How did I not know she was that desperate? This isn't your fault. Amanda is an adult. She made this decision. No one forced her. The days after the arrest were surreal. The story hit local news. Seattle woman fakes sister's death in insurance scam. My phone exploded. Friends, relatives, coworkers. Everyone wanted details. Everyone wanted to express shock. Some just wanted to gossip. I ignored most of them. Detective Morrison kept me updated. Amanda had been denied bail. Flight risk. The prosecutor was charging her with multiple felonies. Her public defender was trying to negotiate a plea deal. The DA wants the maximum, Morrison told me. 20 years. They want to make an example of this case. Is there any chance she gets less? If she pleads guilty and shows real remorse, maybe 8 to 10 years. The preliminary hearing was 3 weeks later. I had to testify. I sat on the witness stand and described everything. How I found out. How it felt to see my death certificate. How devastating it was to know my own sister had tried to erase me. Amanda sat at the defendant's table in an orange jumpsuit. She looked smaller. Broken. She wouldn't look at me during my testimony. She just stared at the table. When it was over, the judge asked how she pleaded. Long pause. Then quietly, guilty. The judge set sentencing for 2 months later. Her lawyer had negotiated a deal. Plead guilty, waive appeals, cooperate fully. In exchange, the prosecution would recommend 8 years instead of 20. 8 years. Amanda would be 41 when she got out. I'd be 37. Mom would be in her 70s. Everything would be different by then. The sentencing hearing finally came. Federal court. Formal. Intimidating. I sat in the gallery. Mom sat next to me. He was crying before it even started. The prosecutor presented everything. The forged documents. The detailed lies. The psychological impact on me. Then Amanda's defender spoke about desperation. Mental health. Poor choices compounded by circumstances. Finally, the judge asked Amanda if she wanted to make a statement. She stood slowly. Looked at me for the first time since her arrest. Her eyes were red. Her face was hollow. Sarah, I know sorry doesn't fix anything. I know what I did was unforgivable. I was desperate and terrified, and I made the worst decision of my life. I tried to erase you. I tried to profit from your fake death. And I'll carry that guilt forever. She wiped tears away. I don't expect forgiveness. I just want you to know I'm sorry. Truly sorry. I didn't react. I just watched. Waited. The judge delivered the sentence. 8 years in federal prison. Credit for time served. Eligibility for parole after 5 years if she completed rehabilitation programs. Financial restitution of $500,000 to be paid upon release. Amanda collapsed sobbing as they led her away. Mom cried next to me, and I felt nothing. Just cold satisfaction. That was 6 months ago. Life has moved on. I still work in Seattle. I still design websites. I still drink too much coffee. On the surface, everything looks normal. But I'm different. More careful. More guarded. I've learned that betrayal can come from anywhere. Even family. Amanda has written to me 4 times from prison. Short letters. Updates about counseling. Classes she's taking. Apologizing. She doesn't ask for anything. Just writes about her life and expresses remorse. I haven't written back. I don't know if I ever will. Some betrayals cut too deep. Mom asks if I'll visit Amanda someday. If I'll give her another chance. I tell Mom I don't know. And that's the truth. Right now, I can't imagine sitting across from her. Can't imagine looking at her without seeing the person who tried to erase me. Maybe that'll change. Maybe in 5 years or 8 years I'll find forgiveness. But right now, all I feel is relief that she's locked away where she can't hurt me again. People ask if I regret how I handled it. If I should have skipped the confrontation. Just let police arrest her quietly. I don't regret a single thing. Amanda needed to see my face. Needed to know I caught her. Needed to understand she didn't just commit a crime. She betrayed someone who would have helped her if she'd asked. Was it revenge? Absolutely. But it was also justice. And sometimes those two things are exactly the same. My sister tried to fake my death. She forged documents. She lied to everyone. She tried to steal $500,000 and make my mother think she'd lost another child. She thought she'd get away with it. Instead, she lost everything. Her freedom. Her future. Her family. And I'm the one who made it happen. I don't feel guilty. I feel vindicated. She tried to erase me from existence. I erased her freedom instead. That's real revenge. Cold, calculated, and completely deserved. My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm 30 years old. I live in Seattle. I'm a graphic designer. And I'm the woman who came back from the dead to take down her own sister. She tried to kill me on paper. I made sure she paid with her freedom. And honestly, it was the most satisfying thing I've ever done. Because when someone tries to erase you, you don't just stop them. You make absolutely certain they never forget what they tried to do. You make sure everyone knows. You make sure they lose everything they tried to take from you. That's not just revenge. That's justice. And it feels incredible.